Is there a right way to choose a partner? Or does love just happen to us? Materialists presents us with what looks like a woman stuck between two guys, yet another summer movie that threesome baited. Looking at you, challengers. But what we get is something else entirely. A cold, calculated, and at times brutally honest case study of modern dating. In this video, we'll break down why Lucy chooses John over Harry, and how that decision exposes something deeper about modern love. Because Lucy's choice isn't just about preference or passion, it's about strategy, fear, and what happens when we approach love like a transaction. Materialists makes us ask, can love be deconstructed, strategized, chosen? It's a question humanity has been asking for centuries. From arranged marriages to newspaper matrimonials, from swiping on dating apps to AI bots designed to crack our psychological code. We've spent lifetimes trying to solve the puzzle of love, trying to figure out what makes two people choose each other, stay together, or fall apart. But with every new solution, it's worth asking, have we actually gotten closer to understanding love? Or have we just moved further and further away from it? Materialists explores how, in today's world, love often functions like a marketplace, where we act as both consumers and commodities. We're choosing, but we're also hoping to be chosen. And when connection becomes transactional, something gets lost. Not just intimacy, but truth, clarity, the ability to actually feel. And how that shift shapes not just who we choose, but who we become in the process. Because although love is a universal desire, it's one of the most divisive subjects out there. Everyone has a theory. Some believe love is fate, that it finds you, and when it's right, it just works. Others believe love is a project, something you build, control, and optimize, that the best strategist wins. Materialists introduces us to Lucy, played by Dakota Johnson, a professional matchmaker who falls firmly in the second category, someone who treats love like business. Her job is to engineer relationships. She categorizes clients by metrics like education, income, lifestyle, political views. And when two people check enough of each other's boxes, she calls it a strong match. It sounds dry because it is, but to Lucy, it's logic. And logic works. She's celebrated at her firm for producing 9 marriages. She believes in her system, she believes in her algorithm. But over the course of the film, that cold, calculated worldview begins to falter. And what unravels is a deeper truth about what love becomes when it's packaged, predicted, and sold. Materialists exposes the dark seduction of certainty, and how the very system we built to help us find love might be the reason we keep missing it. So today we're asking, what happens when you approach love like a checklist and treat yourself or someone else like a brand? Maybe the problem isn't that love is hard to find, maybe it's that we've been looking in all the wrong places. Across 3 lessons, we'll explore why Lucy's choice matters and what it reveals about love itself. You can check every box and still feel nothing. Strategy is a shield, and love is a risk, not a reward. Let's begin. Lucy's job isn't to spark connection, it's to manufacture it, by turning people into sortable profiles and hoping the math adds up. To Lucy, her clients aren't individuals, they're data points. She filters them through preferences, tallies up their traits, and delivers a match that looks good on paper. And when those matches don't quite work out, her clients just ask for a different blend of features, as if they're customizing a product. One man even says, I want to meet someone who's a combination of all the different awesome parts of the last 4 matches. Sophie's job and education level, Emily's body and lifestyle, Piper's face and sense of style, and Jane's hobbies and taste in TV shows. Lucy replies, frustrated and exhausted, easy, since I'm Dr. Frankenstein. She's not profiling people this way just to make her job easier. She's responding to a dating market that expects customization. And to make it run smoothly, sometimes she bends the truth. She rounds up heights. She tells her clients that prospective dates look younger than they actually do. Why? Because she knows that if someone doesn't check the right boxes, even by a small margin, they won't even get a chance. The wrong number, and a good person is automatically disqualified. So Lucy tweaks the numbers. The system isn't just flawed, it's performative. Even Lucy, the one building it, fakes it to keep it functioning. But she's doing it to cater to the very rigidity that makes real connection nearly impossible, which only makes the whole thing feel more hollow. She knows the system is flawed, even ridiculous, but she can't help but believe in it. When her clients struggle to match, she doesn't think the problem is the system. She thinks they just didn't align with the boxes. Even at her own client's wedding, when John, her ex played by Chris Evans, later asks what made Charlotte and Peter perfect for each other, Lucy answers without hesitation. Similar economic background, politically aligned, well matched in their attractiveness. This belief in the boxes doesn't just shape her work, it shapes how she moves through the world. At the wedding, Lucy uses the vulnerability in the room, guests hoping they'll be next, and sells them the dream. She never misses an opportunity, and Harry notices. Played by Pedro Pascal, Harry is a finance guy. Smart, strategic, emotionally reserved. He's impressed not just by how she looks, but how she moves. He admires her hustle, the way she reads the room, the way she brands herself. To him, Lucy isn't just dateable, she's a solid investment. But while Lucy works her magic, behind the scenes, the bride she helped match is having second thoughts. Charlotte is anxious. She almost doesn't go through with it. And when Lucy talks her down, Charlotte finally admits the truth. She's not marrying Peter out of love. She's marrying him because he's better than her sister's husband. Taller, richer, better looking. Peter makes her feel valuable, and Lucy doesn't push back because she gets it. That's what she ends up mirroring in her relationship with Harry. When Lucy meets him, she's not swept away. She hesitates because in her mind, Harry's value is too high. He's tall, rich, comes from a good family, owns a Tribeca penthouse. He's the kind of man her clients dream of, the ultimate catch. And Lucy isn't sure she measures up. She runs the numbers on herself and wonders, do I have enough market value to match his? But at the same time, she feels she can't let this chance slip away. Harry is a unicorn in the dating market. Rare, in demand, the kind of man you're supposed to hold on to. It's not an ideal way to think about a person, and it's not an ideal way to start a relationship. In Lucy's world, people aren't people, they're inventory. You're either a unicorn everyone wants, or worthless merchandise no one's willing to pick up. Lucy has spent so long believing in boxes, in metrics, in market value, that she simply doesn't see another way. So she jumps. Even her coworkers tease her. You couldn't let him date one of our clients first? Dating Harry isn't spontaneous. It's calculated because dating Harry gives her status. Just like Charlotte with Peter, Harry makes her feel valuable. And when he asks why she likes him, she says it plainly. Because you make me feel valuable. He replies, you are valuable. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's the same logic Charlotte used. Marrying Peter wasn't about love. It was about winning. Lucy thinks maybe dating Harry will do the same. That if she picks the right match, the one who checks every box, something will finally feel right. Because her last relationship didn't. John didn't have money, didn't have status. They fought about bills and futures they couldn't afford. Even though there was love, it wasn't enough to hold their life together. So Lucy registers that relationship as a failure of logic, a mistake she doesn't want to repeat. Harry is her solution to that mistake, the safe choice, the smart one. But something's missing. Even though Harry is perfect on paper, Lucy isn't sure. She even says it out loud. I don't know if I like you or the places you take me to. There's a moment when she wakes up in his luxury apartment. He's already suited up, taking work calls, and before leaving, he kisses her and hands her a key. It's thoughtful, considerate. And after he leaves, Lucy smiles, not at the key, but at a voice message from John. Because being valued by someone isn't the same as being seen. Harry praises her drive, her ambition, her potential, but it's John who knows her. He remembers her drink order. He picks up on her sadness after the Sophie incident, something Harry doesn't even notice. And when her world starts to crumble, it's John she calls, the one who listens, the one who simply says, "Keep telling me what happened. I'm here." Harry is the resume match, the answer that should work on paper. But John is the exception Lucy can't rationalize away. And that's when she realizes something. You can choose someone who looks right, who checks every box, income, lifestyle, ambition, and still feel completely alone. Because love isn't about optimizing for safety, or choosing the best CV, or borrowing someone else's value to feel like you matter. Love is about how you feel when the performance drops, when the branding fades, when it's just the two of you sitting in silence. Lucy tried to build love the same way she built her career, with logic, with certainty, with metrics that guaranteed results. But love doesn't work like that. You don't feel loved because someone tells you you're valuable. You feel loved because someone knows you, because they see you at your lowest and choose you anyway. And sometimes, the safest person in the world still makes you feel completely alone, because you can check every box and still feel nothing. Materialists doesn't just show us why Charlotte marries Peter, to feel like a winner, especially in her sister's eyes. It also shows us Peter's side of the story, and it's Harry who reveals it. In a quiet moment, Lucy notices scars on Harry's legs. He tells her he underwent leg lengthening surgery, a painful procedure to get 6 inches added to his height. He didn't need it for medical reasons. Neither did his brother Peter, the groom from earlier. But they both did it anyway, to be worth more. Harry even says it was worth it, because in the dating market, 6 inches can double a man's value, a point Lucy herself makes earlier in the movie. But while Charlotte used Peter to feel like she was winning, Peter had his own goal. He used his upgraded status to attract the nicest rich girl who liked him back. A move Harry criticizes as a poor investment, a short-sighted play for superficial gain. Harry sees himself as a better businessman. He's not after flash. He wants long-term ROI. He's not interested in the prettiest rich girl. He's looking for intangible assets, something that holds value over time. And Lucy? She's that asset. She's smart, strategic, she gets the game. Harry doesn't want a girlfriend. He wants a business partner, someone he can trust to help him run his life like a firm. And Lucy checks every box. But here's the twist. As Harry lays out his metrics, Lucy sees her own logic staring back at her. She points toward her body, her nose, her breasts, subtle reminders that she too made investments, not for health, for value, for market appeal. They've both done the math, they've both played the game, and yet there's no love in the room. Because even though Harry has rejected material assets in favor of psychological ones, he's still using a formula, still calculating, still hiding from the one thing love actually requires: vulnerability. Harry is terrified of love. He calls it irrational. He asks Lucy, "What if I'm not capable of it?" He clings to logic, to structure, to control. Because love, that's chaos. That's risk. That's exposure. So instead, he does what he knows, builds a business plan. He thinks if he just swaps out beauty for brains, prestige for strategy, he'll escape the trap. But he hasn't escaped anything. He's just remodeled it. He's still commodifying people, still performing connection instead of creating it, still writing contracts instead of opening his heart. And Lucy sees it too. Because Harry's affection isn't rooted in who she is. It's in what she offers. He praises her like he's pitching her to a boardroom. He calls her a good investment. Not only that, but he lays out what he brings to the table too. Financial security, comfort, a better life for Lucy. But it's still a transaction. And when the spreadsheet doesn't deliver what the heart actually needs, it all falls apart. Because love isn't smart investing. It's a leap of faith. It's the one area of life that can't be optimized, only felt. It demands that we let go of the plan and trust something deeper. And until Harry or Lucy is willing to do that, they'll keep mistaking compatibility for connection. Because the best strategy in the world won't protect you from a lonely heart. And even the savviest investment can still leave you bankrupt. By the end of Materialists, Lucy has a choice to make. On one side, there's Harry, the man who checks every box. Reliable, successful. He's the guy who makes her feel valuable, and the life he offers is everything her younger self might have dreamed of. No more money fights, no more uncertainty, no more struggling. On the other side, there's John, the ex she never really let go of. The man who tried to protect her even from himself, turning down her invitation to come upstairs, even though he wanted to, because he knew it was the right thing to do. The one who noticed when something in her life was off, who showed up when her world was falling apart. And slowly, Lucy begins to realize she spent so long trying to make the right choice, the logical choice, that she's forgotten love was never meant to be calculated in the first place. She even tells Harry during their breakup that love should be easy. And later, when she asks John how he could still love her after everything, he simply replies, "It's the easiest thing." The mirrored language isn't accidental. It's a sign that while Lucy was learning to stop overthinking love, John was learning to stop taking it for granted. They don't fall back into old patterns. They come back together changed, even if subtly. And John doesn't try to win her over with sweeping declarations. He speaks her language. "I've been doing some math, and I'm ready to make you an offer." It's half joke, half acknowledgement. He knows she values effort, stability, responsibility. So he tells her he'll ask for a raise, that he won't say no to commercial gigs, even if they annoy him. He doesn't ignore the thing that ended their relationship. He leans into it. And Lucy responds with a smile and a handshake. Not with over-the-top gestures, but with a quiet deal. Because now, she's not choosing someone who simply mirrors her values. She's choosing someone who's willing to grow alongside her. It's not a fairy tale, but it's real. And that's what makes Lucy's decision so powerful. He doesn't promise her stability. He doesn't pretend love will fix everything. What he offers her is honesty and risk. In fact, his proposal is a question. Are you ready to make a bad financial decision? No spreadsheets, no scoring systems, no guarantees. And sometimes love isn't about safety. It's about surrender to the risk, to the mess, to the unknown. Because Lucy spent the entire film trying to optimize love, to market it, to control it, to make it make sense. And in doing so, she tried to outsmart the very thing that makes love what it is: mystery. In the end, she says something simple yet profound. That John is the only reason she knows she's capable of love. Not because she learned it at work, not because she perfected the system, but because she felt it. Because love isn't a reward, it's a risk you choose, over and over again. Materialist starts with logic and ends with a feeling. It shows us that no matter how strategic we are, love can't be solved. Lucy tried everything, checking boxes, matching mindsets, playing it safe. But love didn't show up in a spreadsheet. It showed up in the mess, in risk, in emotion, in uncertainty. Because a profile isn't a person, a partner isn't a project, and love isn't a reward for making smart moves. It's a risk you take with your heart. So now I want to know, what do you think? Was Lucy's choice brave or reckless? Honest or naive? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this story divides people for a reason. And if this video made you question your own rules about love, subscribe to Skinny as Latte for your next emotional upgrade.